Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. I want to document the sex offense that are the state of California, the terrorist organization, engaging in what is the egregious criminal conduct, the criminal act in the United States, but anywhere, also in third world countries, but in the United States, the hypocrisy of the animalistic behavior of criminals that are stalking in helicopters, and that is the LAPD. Dominic Choi's rubber stamp is on the ongoing terrorism and the sexual violence and the criminal surveillance that the LAPD are engaging in. And at 8:04 a.m., we want to document with the ongoing pattern of conduct, just like you saw yesterday. I continue to catalog it on a day-by-day, moment-by-moment basis, where group stalking that I remain subject to, and it's inside of my private space. So this is the sex offense that I'm subject to, while the terrorist organization that is known as the Los Angeles Police Department, that is actually engaging in criminal activity in the shoes of the state of California, that is engaging in criminal surveillance in the United States. And we are not different, in other words, from these third world countries that we are placing our hands in on the international scene, and engaging in what is dealing in international affairs, if you will, and you have the American government terrorizing American citizens. And that's the reality of what the LAPD is engaging in while they're stalking in a helicopter. That is audible activity creation in the specific environment, the demon possession of the Los Angeles Police Department, and Dominic Choi, who I can specifically identify that demon by name because he is the chief of police of that terrorist organization who are practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. Dominic Choi is indeed demon possessed. The men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department are demon possessed. They are currently engaging in stalking in a helicopter while I am putting clothes on my nude body, keeping me under surveillance, and going out of their way to communicate a sexually violent threat, to communicate the threat of their presence and their ongoing determination and decision to continue engaging in what is criminal conduct, which is an admission as to the group stalking and the sex offender that are the people of the state who are group stalking and threatening with that state. Living at the crime scene, that is Alvarado Gardens, where the sun is rising and setting, by the way, remaining over me, which is speaking to the demon possession of this whole population. And the population that's engaged in group stalking that lives at the property of Alvarado Gardens are going to federal prison. And so is Heather Teal. Okay, while I'm subject to this surveillance, while I'm inside of a private space, while the entity is keeping me under surveillance, while I'm nude in the shower, keeping me under surveillance and invading my privacy as a whole population, and then going to that end to make sure that you are communicating a threat, that you're stalking in a helicopter. And those are demons that are stalking in a helicopter. And this criminal conduct continues into the workplace. So I want to make sure that you're aware of that, because that's exactly what the people of the state have exhibited. California Star Construction, that's the people of the state under a fake sun while you're looking at light levitating on the walls inside of the laundry room. Those are demons, and they're group stalking under the guise of a company name with that same demon possessed terrorist organization, the LAPD, who you also see stalking on an ongoing basis in helicopters, which is America's version of terrorism here in the US, engaging in what is entirely un-American criminal conduct as the government that is on the world scene, interfering in international affairs. Okay, this is what they are doing to American citizens in our own border. Okay, so the reason why you're looking at this screen is because this is what I documented yesterday. Today is June 19th, 2024, and that pattern of conduct continues, and I just continue to document that. And so that's why I'm showing you this screen, because that's exactly what the entity is engaging in while I remain subject to that on this day in June 9th, on this day and on June 19th. And so as I walk downstairs and the entity is engaging in this is the sex offense. Remember, I'm in the private space. I'm subject to an ongoing molestation because that's not even the natural environment. That's not the sun. This is where the entity is engaged in group stalking. So it shall be the criminal conduct state action where the entity is stalking in that demonic environment. They are relying upon the presence of that demonic environment and the criminal activity of the people of the state who are maintaining that environment relevant to the elements of monitoring, audible activity and light activity and presence. So therefore it is state action where the state is stalking. And the state is stalking in concert with the people who are all of that same demonic condition. And the entity is sounding helicopter activity, which is not only relevant for the prosecution of speaker companies and R. Todd Speaker, whose real property and whose property management company are instruments of criminal facilitation to the state of California. You do not have a coincidental engagement of your employees engaging in the elements of monitoring in sync with the state that are working in the specific environment. That is literally the state's pattern of conduct. It is literally the a demonic activity, and then you are just going by a company name, I'm going to prosecute you and that company name, and I'm also going to drain your pockets. Where our Todd speaker is facilitating sexual violence in the shoes of the state, and that's why I'm subject to it in the workplace. So I want to make sure that I document that. It's 8:04 a.m. It is Wednesday, June 19, 2024, and as I documented again, I was kidnapped on June 16, 2022. So on this day in 2022, I remained kidnapped, where the entity was keeping a fake son, by the way, over Arrowhead Regional Medical Center in Colton, California. And what you are continuously saying every day is the entity maintaining a light source over me at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles from the beginning to the end of the day. Okay. And the entity is engaging in what is an ongoing creation of not only corroboration, but the ongoing conclusive evidence regarding what the state of California is going to be prosecuted for. And it includes every state actor that is documented engaging in the act of kidnapping that I was subject to. And it goes all the way back to what Lisa Rogan participated in. And I continue to name the state actors that are sitting on benches, such as Thomas Garza, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. You have already witnessed the demon possession and the criminal conduct of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, who are under a light source while I am in their presence, and they are exhibiting their demon possession while they are engaging in criminal conduct of a demonic nature, while a light source is over me at 9:03 in the morning, and you're seeing it over my head at Alvarado Gardens. You're seeing it over my head while I'm in Fontana, California, the Fontana Lewis Library. The two are not occurring. I'm showing you the system, and I'm also exposing demon possession simultaneously. And this is how the entity is providing ongoing evidence while they are to date stalking me in a helicopter while I'm inside of my apartment, fully apprised of the fact that I'm physically nude, which is the sexually motivated and predatory aspect of the state's pattern of conduct. Dominic Choi, the men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department who are demon possessed and are practicing federal group stalking and monitoring, you need to understand that the demon possessed population are violent sex offenders, as the law would recognize it with regard to the prosecution of any other stalker or terrorist. Okay, and they do so with regard to the intent to threaten you, to terrorize you, and to sexually violate you. What the demons do at the moment they do it, and all that they know as they do that, is well within the pattern of conduct, and it is a criminal intention and purpose of the mentally deranged entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. So again, I want to make sure that I document that. It's 8:11 a.m. The pattern of conduct continues into the workplace while I go right into my office, which you already know. Marina Davila stalking in the laundry room, you Kim going to stalk in the laundry room, the Carlo Lopez, an employee of speaker companies, which is again, they're all going to federal prison. The entity is engaging group stalking. Mara Diego, they're group stalking in a laundry room to maintain criminal presence with the demons that are stalking in helicopters 24/7. And that's the implosion of federal group stalking and monitoring. In other words, the state of California's criminal system is not only fully exposed, that the ongoing engagement in that criminal system serves to expose itself. They are prosecuting each other. That's the point that they're at right now. And I just want to make sure that I specifically articulate the sexual violence that the government is engaging in while they're stalking me inside of my apartment in a helicopter, using such spectacular resources while you are going to such great ends to target me, and why it's because of their condition. And it's because I do not serve Satan, and I will never give allegiance to Satan, ever. I will expose Satan and all of Satan's minions. And with regard to this criminal system, Satan's minions are going to federal prison. Satan's minions are going to be disbanded. Satan's minions are going to be separated from minor children. They're going to be removed from the areas in in American society where they pose a threat. And that threat is sexually violent. That threat is a matter of terrorism. That threat is something which is requiring the injection, the engagement of the federal government in order to legislate around and prosecute the means whereby a state government is engaging in what is a matter of public corruption with the very people that make up the state. Okay, this sort of criminal system has never been prosecuted or exposed before or spoken of before, let alone proven, okay, to the degree that the P.O.C. provides. All right, my name is Erica Lorraine Spencer. It's Wednesday, June 19, 2024. It's 8:13. I just want to go out of my way to articulate the criminal pattern of conduct that I'm subject to while I am literally putting clothes on my body, getting ready to go down to the workplace where the entity is engaging in what is nothing other than stalking all day long in helicopters under that which is not a fake sun, exhibiting, by the way, their demon possession, which is terrorism, in relatively with regard to prosecution of speaker companies, which are the people of the state. I'm going to prosecute because not only is the state group stalking, but the state is group stalking while you're at work. Okay. And then the entity is going to be found civilly and criminally liable. It's just a means of exacting justice in the ways that are commensurate to the level of malice and psychotic criminal conduct that a government sought to secretly engage in. Well, a name going by the name of R. Todd Speaker, he's going to answer for what he is doing in the shoes of the state, representing the people of the state. This is how the people of the state act in concert with the government that's engaging in surveillance here in the U.S. California is a template for what's going on in the rest of the country. All right, and it is entirely of the demonic. It's again 8:14 a.m. and this is P.O.C.